Hello everybody. Our opponent is Rutheroni here on Magic the Gathering Online. Welcome to Tpull's Corner. I'm Travis. And I think we've got a good opening. We get to put Leyline of the Guild Pact out at the very beginning, so all of our permanent is every color. And it is the end of July, so we're at the tail end of Evergreen month. And what I've been doing, for those who haven't been around for the last 5 years watching the channel, when I started this, hang on, let me see, I need to go get a basic land card, and in case they destroy something, I really need it to be blue or red, I think, so we'll go get red, just in case they destroy the ley line later, but I don't expect them to. But you still plan for things, even if you think they're unexpected. Anyway, when I started the Evergreen month, it was mostly intended for newer players. What I would do is I would make an entire deck out of one of the Evergreen mechanics. Like here, Alicia has First Strike, so I would make an entire deck out of First Strike. Everybody would have First Strike, or everybody would have Death Touch, everybody would have Reach or Menace, that kind of thing. Just turn this into a 2-3 to start with, and that's an okay start. If they don't have removal, we've got some nice solved attributes from Case of the Shattered Pact. What I did after a little bit of time was I started combining traits. So we'd have Evergreen month, and I would give everybody in the deck something like, hey, what if we did Death Touch and Trample? Or what if we did First Strike and Death Touch? That type of thing. And then we started playing around with all of the lovely creatures that allowed you to do more than one thing at a time. Let's make this a 4/5. Now we have Flying, Double Strike, and Vigilance. They can block with the 1/1 flyer. Otherwise, they're taking 8 points. They chose to take 8 points. How about that? There are some cards that allow you to take advantage of just about every Evergreen mechanic that there is, or sort of add it on, or give it to another creature, that sort of thing. So we started playing around with that stuff, and I started making what you would call 5-color madness decks. And we're just going to let all those come on through. I'm not going to kill anything and let Alicia bring it back. Is it Alicia or Alicia? I don't know. Down to 9. Things are not looking good, sports fans. If I don't have enough to do that. But I do have enough to have it be vigilant. So we do Double Strike again. And maybe if they don't have removal, I can use Figure Favorable to block Slumbering Colossus at least. And survive for just one more turn. Which is all I really need. But they do have a blocker now. That makes me think they don't have any combat trick that can save Alicia from Figure of Fable. Do we survive? They get their creature back. But they attacked with their blocker. And now, Kithkin Avatar comes our way. And has Flying, Double Strike, and Vigilance. So we win. In the meantime, if we did get another land, we would have had this. Which is the point of the deck. So, what I'm doing at the end of this Evergreen month, after 5 years of doing this is the beginning of year 6 for the YouTube channel here, is we're taking an Evergreen theme, something that's been in the game for a very long time and is going to stay here. It's basically alternate win cards. And in this case, the deck is called Protected Winds. And it's got a couple of different things that really help us out. But we start with this 7-drop, Herald of Eternal Dawn. They gave us this with Foundations. I went ahead and I burned a bunch of wild cards because I don't think I had one of these yet. But having 4 of them is a little too much. Having 4 Parination is a little too much. So I pared it down to 3 apiece. But this is a 6/6 Flying Angel. You can actually flash it in on your opponent's turn. It says you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. So if you have negative life, if they milled out your deck, it just doesn't matter. If this card is out and alive on your side of the board, no matter what they do, you don't lose the game. And what else do we have? We've got Absolute Virtue. This is from Final Fantasy, another mythic rare. I think I've burned like at least 3 mythic rare wildcards to get this one too. This one is an 8/8, also a flyer. When you spend the 8, the spell can't be countered, so they can't stop it from getting down on the field. Then you have protection from each of your opponents, so that means then your opponent can't target you with discard spells, direct damage spells, anything like that. So we give ourselves protection, and we also have Figure of Fable over here. It's a 1-drop. It's hybrid mana, so you can spend either 1 green or 1 white, and same for powering it up. It comes in as a 1/1 Kithkin. Then you can make it a 2/3 Kithkin Scout. Then for 3, you can pump into it and turn it from a Scout to a Soldier. It's a 4/5. And then finally, when you have 6 mana available, only 3 of which has to be green and or white, and you have to have made it from a Scout into a Soldier before. You can't skip the middle step, right? So you can't go from 1 to 6. But if the creature's already Soldier, it becomes a Kithkin Avatar. Base power and toughness are 7/8 and protection from each of your opponents. So once it has protection from each of your opponents, the opponent can't block it, can't deal it damage, can't enchant it, can't target it. It's pretty powerful. So we're dealing with a lot of protection, and we're dealing with a case where not only are we protected, but our opponents can't win the game. Over here we have 2 Progenitus, which actually costs a big whopping 10 colored mana. It's a 10/10 creature, has protection from everything. If it's put into the graveyard from anywhere, you shuffle it into the owner's library instead. This is because this is so powerful a card, they don't want you to throw it into the graveyard and animate it with a cheap like 4-cost Zombify or anything like that. If it goes into the graveyard through your own antics, they're like, nope, you're not going to get it in for cheap. It just gets shuffled right back into the deck. So you're going to bring it down from your hand only, not from the graveyard. Then, of course, we have Parination, which I used in a recent deck. This is another mythic rare. I didn't burn any wild cards to get that, I don't think. I think I got my 3rd one and decided it was time to build this deck. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a Hexproof counter and an Indestructible counter on it. So if we can get one of these 2 cards, either Herald of Eternal Dawn or Absolute Virtue, in the graveyard, we can bring it back with Parination. And if you have Absolute Virtue, that gives you protection from your opponents, and it has Hexproof and Indestructible, you pretty much won the game. If you can give Herald of Eternal Dawn Hexproof and Indestructible so they can't get rid of Herald of Eternal Dawn, then you pretty much won the game, no matter what. And if you get both of them out on the same time, then it's just scary. We do have 1 copy of Zombify in case they get something, manage to... there are ways around this deck. There are ways to get things destroyed. There are things that the enemy can use to get things into your graveyard. So we do have 1 way to get them back there. I also have 1 copy of Zuko's Conviction. Costs 1, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand, which often will be good enough. But if you have the ability to kick it, adding in 4 more mana, and it doesn't have to be any particular color, if you can kick it, you can put the card right onto the battlefield tapped. So we have a lot of devastating cards that involve Hexproof and Indestructible and protection, and it's a pretty powerful assemblage of stuff. And you can see we've got 13 creatures. It's really a small number of creatures. The average cost is 4.6. It's a very expensive deck, and it's 5 color madness. We've got all 5 colors involved, still only 24 lands. But, as is often the case when we do 5 colors, we bring in Leyline of the Guild Pact, so that way if we get it onto the field, every land is every land type, so we don't have any problem casting spells. We also pair it up with 3 copies of Case of the Shattered Pact. This also helps us solve our land problems at first if we're having any trouble with color. If we get any of the other 2 colors, we can get our 3rd color by this way, just searching a library for a basic land, putting it out into our hand. Once we solve this, then at the beginning of combat on your turn, any target creature control, you direct which one, gains flying, double strike, and vigilance until end of turn. We've got 61 cards and 24 lands, so my 61st card is Mazemind Tome, because if we have 2 mana to spare, we can draw 4 cards from this puppy before it gets exiled. And if we do manage to get 4 of the page counters on it, we gain 4 life too. So a little bit of life gain in there. For control, we've got 2 copies of Consumed by Greed. Make the opponent sacrifice the creature with the greatest power they control. I've also used the gift on this in this deck, where you give them a card and you get to return a creature card from my graveyard to my hand. We've also got 4 board wipes, 4 Days of Judgment, and we don't worry about it if we've got something that is returned from the graveyard with Indestructible, right? Because then we can do Days of Judgment all we want and not lose the 1 creature we want to keep. We also have 4 more powerful, or more expensive, I should say, board wipes. Destroy all creatures and any number of target players each mill half their library rounded down. This is fun if I already have Zuko's Conviction or Zombify or Parination in my hand. Then I can just mill a whole bunch of stuff. And then I've got a lot of chances here possibly to get something back that I want. And I think that's all of the cards. Oh, wait, I do have 1 copy of Intimidation Campaign as well. When it enters, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, and you draw a card. This is also kind of why I don't mind going to 61 cards, because if I play this, it just replaces itself right away. Whenever you commit a crime, you can return the enchantment to the owner's hand, so repeat value there. I've got 1 copy of each of the Tarkan lands that are triple, so I get 3 different colors. I've got 1 Demolition Field, so I can destroy 1 of their special lands. And 1 Fabled Passage, so if I'm missing 1 particular color that I need and I don't have Leyline of the Guild Pact out, I can go fix my lands. And that's it. I have lost track of how many alternate win cards there have been throughout this game, but there's a section of the player base that absolutely loves them. And I think I have to include myself in that category. I'm always looking for those. I'm always looking to see how they work. I'm looking always to try and make decks out of them that make them work. And luckily, there's a lot of designers in the company that like these cards too. So we are never at a loss for having an alternate win card in every set or two. We pump up Figure of Favor now. Make them the 2/3 scouts. Red and black have tons of different removal choices, so we don't expect our creature to stay alive for that long. But I like the fact that we do have 3 lands, so we go from scout to a soldier. And we're at least doing a little bit of damage up front. Maybe that'll help us enough. Alright, they set that up on purpose, and no land. So, we can bring the Kithkin back. And we can bring it down. And turn it into a 2/3 all in the same turn. Our opponent does not miss their land drop. And we miss ours. Alright. I think we're just gonna... Do we pass here? Yeah, I guess we just pass here. Opponent does not miss a land drop. We'll try and get rid of Team Braun there. They're just fine with that. And we're kind of stuck. To miss 2 land drops in a row. For such an expensive deck as this, look, they gave us 3 of the Singularity Raptures instead. Thanks, guys. I've got 24 lands, and I've got 4 ramp spells. And none of that is showing up. Well, I guess there's no reason not to attack then, right? With Phyrexian Arena out, if they don't have any life gain on, they can't really afford to take a whole bunch of hits from the Figure of Fable, so they need to wait till they get some removal. But I think with what they have in flight, I think just missing those 2 land drops is enough to take me out. I really needed them. You know, I could have easily done a good board wipe. And instead, I think I'm just dead. They cycle through everything they've got. Can they kill me this turn? They're down to 1. And guess what? That's pretty much it. That's what happens when you miss 2 land drops in this game. But that's what Arena does to you. Win 1, land starved. Win 1, land starved. Why should they change anything? Okay, the nice thing is we can already afford 3 different spells that we have. Can't quite afford to attack in just yet. I've got black, red, blue or green. So I guess we go after a white mana source. There's some life gain for them. And they do not attack. Interesting choices. Well, we do have some time. I guess let's do that. See if we have enough time. If we solve Case of the Shattered Pact, it doesn't matter if they have removal for one particular creature. We might be able to do pretty good with anybody that we put that on. Black is playing kind of conservatively. Okay, so we go get something now. And I don't think it matters too much what it is anymore. And then we play Intimidation Campaign. Now we solve the case. Opponent does not miss a land drop. I think it's okay to say we don't need that land right this second. I don't want them to have another discard spell. Another discard spell could kind of mess me up. Alright, let's get rid of the skeleton. And now we can sacrifice this and look for a particular card, right? Okay. Hang on a sec. Before I cast this, the skeleton was a token, so I don't have anything in the graveyard, so it's not going to offer me to bring anything back. But we will bring the Intimidation Campaign back into our hands. They lose that on the ground. And then we can go ahead and put this puppy out and pump it up. Then we give this Figure of Fable, and since it's flying, the Heck Dice can't block it. What does it want to get rid of out of those two? Probably Intimidation Campaign at this point. Yep. Okay, the old life gain Phyrexian Arena combination. What can we go search for that will help us? Day of Judgment. They don't really need the block. That just puts them back down to 20. I guess I should have pumped this up to 4/5 already. I had 3 open mana. It's better if they do have any kind of removal, I could choose one and pump up the remaining one. See what they do here. They got something. All right, we're going to pump this up to a 4/5. We're going to attack in with it. We might as well attack in with both, right? They just take it, they'll go down to 13. They take it. The opponent is not scared. We were able to look through our deck and choose whatever card we wanted. Let's go ahead and bring one of them back into our hand. That discard taking away the 6th land did kind of hurt me a little bit. I would like to pump up... Ah, there we go. Alright, pump you up now. And we can bring back the other Figure of Fable. There's no haste here, so we still can't quite attack yet. But we got to be a little careful because we're still down at 4 life points and that's it. Yeah, boy. Let's see, we can do that now. That's 8 points. I wonder if Arena tried to do a kind of mirror match, because this one has Hexproof from Right specifically. It's really doing a lot of work. Yeah, they got me. They can craft this too, right? That's the beginning of their upkeep. So is there any way I can do anything against them at this point? I think so. It's got Hexproof from White. Can't be the target. I think they got me. Yeah, the things that I have. Very close. 1 to 2. That Phyrexian Arena gave them enough card draw to get all the removal they needed for each of the creatures I had. We need our Angel to show up. Yeah, this deck in particular is very vulnerable to discard because you've got a lot of powerful cards. You need to be able to hold on to them for long enough until you're ready to use them at a very specific time. Not a bad hand, actually. If we can survive, we're almost close to a board wipe. question is, can we survive until the point that we need to use it? Let's go get a forest. We don't have any green yet there. They didn't warp that in, they just brought it plain in. Okay. I think let's go ahead and bring this puppy down. And yeah, go ahead and pump it up. It's a good way to find out if they have removal or not. Opponent does not miss a land drop. They might have a combat trick, though. All right. Let's just bring another one down. And I actually need a second black source for Singularity Rupture. That way we can have 2 blacks and a blue to power that. Sheltered by Ghosts. This is where we get to do this. This is what I do a lot when they play Sheltered by Ghosts. See if they have a combat trick again. They do. It's fine because you're going to do Day Judgment anyway. And they are almost out of ammo. We go get yet another land. Does it matter at this point anymore? We'll go get the mountain. If I get any one of 5 cards, I'd be willing to run Singularity Rupture. In the meantime, I can keep putting down lands, and I'll have enough to full cast Absolute Virtue. That's a lot of land. Okay, or we could just cast Singularity Rupture now. Yeah, we got 2 of them. Might as well. We're just going to mill them. I don't have the card I wanted yet. I got rid of an Angelic Destiny. That's kind of cool. A lot of flyers. I think we've got rid of at least 10 flyers. There's Parination. Okay. I could bring that back. All right. We're not destroying anything, we're just milling at this point. That puts them down to 10 cards. And what do we get? We get Herald of Eternal Dawn with Hexproof and Indestructible. That's just lovely. They don't hang around for that. Final score 29-8. Life points are useless. And this is part of the reason why I decided to do this, is I have been facing just a ton of decks that have Sheltered by Ghost. Like every single day. 2, 3, 4 times in a row sometimes. White's a very popular color. Shelter by Ghost is probably the most popular card right now in terms of usage that I'm seeing. And it gets a little boring, just seeing them always playing that. So every now and then I like to drive home the point. It doesn't matter how much life gain you have. We have put together some decks where we end up with more than 10,000 life. Those are fun. But it's kind of irrelevant to how we win the game a lot of times. That's kind of a cool card. Okay, so we're going to go get the second white mana for our board wipe right now. Because they're playing stuff like this. This deck configuration often has things that can take care of enchantments. Yeah, look at that. 10 points on turn 4. And they do not miss a land drop. Aha, they do have something against that. I thought they did. Still don't have a black mana source. And now we're just playing that. What can I do here? Not a lot. I guess we do go get our black mana source, just so we have it. Isn't a whole lot I can do here. And we can go ahead and put that down. And we can go ahead and put down Leyline as Guild Pack down. And I do have 7 board wipes left, so... If I get one more untapped land, I can bring down Herald of Eternal Dawn. But they might have a removal spell for it. Ugh! That actually, I would need... No, I have 3 white, so I still just need 1 untapped land for this. They just have everything they need to destroy stuff, don't they? Alright, this is kind of my last shot, huh? They've either got it or they don't. Board wipes are not afraid of, because at least all the creatures will go away. That's 5. That was not enough. And so we do this. Now you need to get rid of both of them. In the meantime, I can put down Absolute Virtue. Do I have blue? I need blue. I do have blue, okay. Sure, why not? Maybe they'll kill one. Oh, they do. They have a board wipe. Never mind. They got me. I needed one more turn. Isn't that kind of weird that they have all those creatures, they have all those tokens they can bring out, but they still have the board wipe just when they need it? So I guess that was my fault. I wasn't supposed to attack. I didn't need to. I could have just kept them both where they were, and I could have blocked both creatures. And I would have been alive. So I can't be mad at the opponent. I can't be mad at Arena. It was entirely my fault. Mazebind Tome comes down, and we start our card draw advantage. Oh, hang on. I can't do it yet. I had to pay to bring it down. I gotta wait to pay for it. Okay, now we do it. Sorry. I'm so greedy. I just want to get everything right away. That one's going to take a while before I can afford that. This one too. That's kind of cool. Do we bother to put this down? Yeah, let's put it down. Let's put it down. We can pump it up too right now. Do we need any particular color? Let's go get a forest. Because I think I only have one. And done. Vampire Nighthawk, we're seeing a lot of that these days too. We're not really concerned with their overall life total though. We really just want to draw some land. That will also work. We got the forest, we got the mountain. It's time to stock up on plains. Alright, Figure of Fable in the graveyard. We could use Parination on that. Opponent's just happy to have the one. Let's do it. Now there are some other cards that it could come up with that we could still lose that. Especially cards that target the opponent, like that. Okay. They've got Consumed by Greed, just like we have 2 copies. Isn't that interesting that Arena patched us up with an opponent that had Consumed by Greed? And had it ready right at the very beginning. Well, you know what? We can do that too. We'll even give you a card, and we'll get this back. Alright, we'll draw one more card. We'll get 4 life points back. Seven lands, and we can use that since it's any color. It can be our green or white, even though it's a swamp. Oh, they are ready. Look at that. 3 different removal spells already. You think they're getting bored by that yet? Let's go get. Yeah, we'll get another plains. I feel good about that. No, that's fine. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so Absolute Virtue's coming up soon. They're just waiting. Just waiting. Let's do this again. See if they have another Consumed by Greed. Remember, now we have Flying, Double Strike, and Vigilance for every combat. Oh, they don't even wait for it. Big Money Pikachu has 28. 8 more life points than they started off with. Completely useless. All that life gain. Completely wasted. It's hard to blame anybody for playing a life gain deck. There's something that's really cool about seeing the number that they need to kill you just do nothing but go up. And see their goal go farther and farther away. There's something very eminently satisfying about seeing a large life point total. But your life points are a resource. You really should build something into your deck so that you can use those for something later when you need to. Not just have them sit there and accumulate. But I fall prey to that just as much as anybody. I had my, what was the name of the deck? I'm trying to remember. Something numbers. We can go look it up later, maybe. It wasn't outrageous. I want to say it started with an O, but it was... I was using the cactus. Okay, let's see what colors do I have. Red and black, so I need blue and green. Green is more important right now, and I only have one forest, so we go get that. That was the ley line, though. That was... I wanted that. No, there's a couple more in the deck. It should come back up. Uh-oh. We lost an absolute virtue. Then we lose a progenitus next time. This is fine. It'll just get thrown back into the deck. That won't hurt us quite so much. So what I'm looking for now is just get 3 more lands down so we can get Parination and get one of these back. Because we are playing a discard deck. And I mentioned that sometimes discard decks can beat us. But the way that we have this deck configured, actually, sometimes if they do it wrong, or maybe just the luck of the cards on what we have that we're able to discard, sometimes if we do it just right, they actually help us out and get to the finish line faster. We just need to stop missing our land drops. We've already got the 3 colors we need, so we just need 3 more lands. It doesn't matter what color they are. And we can do stuff. I haven't seen Gossip's talent used for quite a while. We're just going to attack in. They got just as many cards as we do. They do not miss their land drop there. Hopefully the Maid's Mind Tome gives us enough of a card draw advantage that it gets us through whatever dry spell we're going to have with our lands and gets us to our next lands. That's kind of nice for them. How about we scry? Okay, we want that land. That's good. Oh, you know what? We can just do this. They're tapped out, so... that's a good enough turn for now. Notice opponent does not miss their land drop. We cannot... Arena cannot allow my opponents to ever miss their land drop. I can miss them all the time. When you don't realize when you're playing Magic the Gathering, the magic is the fact that your opponent always seems to hit the land drop that they need. That's the real magic of the whole game. Alright, what do we got here? Koya, Death from Above. That's just to get rid of creatures, right?
Whatever you need.
Planeswalker deck they have going on here.
No one said I work alone.
Alright, can we beat this? There we go. We'll go ahead and go get the mountain, because we only have 1 copy of it. We'll go ahead and put down the Figure of Fable and pump it up. We're kind of hoping for another discard spell. Alright, now they need to use up all their energy to keep that exiled, right? We still got Absolute Virtue in the graveyard. So if they don't pay, we get it back. They're trying to figure out what to do with their planeswalkers.
Follow me, Pom Pom Chan.
They're blue. You got to give them extra time. That's fine. They just want to keep the Kithkin, right? They just want to pay for
Your
the Kithkin.
secrets will be mine.
Perfect. I don't have to worry about counterspells for the most part. That was not a land drop. It was another Figure of Fable. And Arena is being very stingy at giving me my 6 lands so I can win this game. Even if they have removal that works against Absolute Virtue, I have 2 of them. And if they don't exile that, maybe it would just go back into the graveyard and I could get it back again. But we have to let them figure out their planeswalkers. We could be here a while.
Out with the old.
They already discarded a Jadzi, Steward of Fate. And a bottomless pool. And a land. That's a land they could have used repeatedly to surveil throughout the rest of the game. They don't have one of those out already. I would not have done that. I would have taken that. Are they afraid of what I've got? You've got 2 planeswalkers out there. Okay, it's a tap land, but we'll take it. Pump you up there. And then we don't have enough to pump you up again. So we pass. We just want to block the Drake Hatcher. Never mind. They're ready for that. They have a pretty good setup. They seem to have almost everything they need every second. Floodplate's Drowner could... No, because when I get back it off Hexproof, they couldn't target it. I was going to say, that could be pretty good too. They're just going to put it at the bottom of the deck. So that's 2 Figures of Fable they're very happy to have gotten rid of. But can the Planeswalkers really do... The Planeswalkers can't do anything, and their enchantment class can't do anything. None of these can really do something to after I cast Parination.
Eyes open and forward.
Yeah, all right. Are we done? At last. Indestructible, hexproof, and you have protection from your opponent, so they can't force me to discard any spells, any cards anymore.
Finally.
And they also can't cast other spells that would command me to sacrifice my creature. And they can't cast the spells that have me exile a creature. So I feel very protected right now. Between this spell and the effects, it all kind of mutually reinforces each other. So everything they're doing, none of it matters. Technically, actually, that life drain, if they got that working a lot, they could still do something with that.
You go low, I'll go high.
They would need to get me with the corroding dragon storm. So I still need my angel, really. Let's get some life gain going. That's kind of a fun card. I mean, is there anything that I want out of there? I think I just pass, right? That's an instant. I can do that anytime I want. I feel like Singularity Rupture is a really good thing to do soon. If I could stall long enough to get 10 lands down, that could also be fun. We'll get rid of the Starfield Vocalist now. They can attack all they want with power 3 or less. They can't be blocked. There we go. They pull that back up. That'll take my life points away. But they're not going to do any more damage to me. They can still get this through, right? But it doesn't do damage, so they don't get any more counters. So they can't get any more drakes from there, from that angle.
Found a way in.
More planeswalkers are not going to help you. I'm going to mill myself too. Then we can bring this down. And we could bring something back up with Zuko's Conviction. How about a Herald of Eternal Dawn? We're just sort of playing with our food at this point. I think I'm already at 50% win-loss ratio, so... We're just seeing if our opponent... No! But you were still over 20 life points and I wasn't attacking. Nobody wants to let me have any fun. I just want to play the cards. They're very expensive cards. They're very powerful cards. They take a while to get out. Okay, we'll play one more. Yeah, the designers... I don't think they're focusing on it so much for Universes Beyond as much. Which... you know, they should keep an eye out in case there's anything in the flavor that would match up with that. You know, a card, like, think of the Marvel superheroes, the Cosmic Cube card kind of could have worked with, that wouldn't have been out of line for that. If they're willing to introduce the Beyonder or any of those cosmic creatures that can just snap their fingers and have reality bend to their whims. To create a win scenario out of that. It's not out of line. Sheltered by Ghosts already? Unusual. Do they have two? I mean, usually they have another one that they're willing to spend that so quickly. Let's go ahead. This would force their hand, right? This would probably... They'd be willing to do it. We've got Day of Judgment already, so... They shouldn't be willing to trade that, so... Second Sheltered by Ghosts? Seam Rip, okay. very common card for this deck construction. They just want to knock me out real quick. We could use the swamp and get consumed by greed right away. I mean, they might have a protective spell, so yeah, let's just use this. They just have to sacrifice their creature. They lose their Sheltered by Ghost. We get our ley line back. And they're not blue, and they only had one untapped land, so I'm not sure why it took them quite so long to respond to that, but... If we put this down, I can put this down. I can pump this up now. Use it as a blocker. And if it draws out a Shelter by Ghost, that's even better. Do they have another Seam Rip? Three lands is, I think, all that they need for this entire deck. I don't think they have anything that costs more than 3. These are all 1 and 2 drops. This deck is designed to kill you by turn 4. So, like, they're already taking too long. This is already too long for them. Sure, I'm going to do a board wipe anyway, so it just doesn't matter. They're tapped out. We need to get rid of these things, though, because we don't want them exiling our creatures like he's doing now. So, the veteran survivors, they all have to go away. There's our third figure of Fable. One more turn, and then we get protection from everything. Then it's pretty much game over. We're not scared of double strike. They could pump this up and make it 2/2 and do 4 points of damage. Not another Seam Rip. I was one turn away from making that half protection. So what do I need? Do I need to wait for 2 more lands so I can get Absolute Virtue going? Okay, notice the way this deck is designed, they only need 3 lands and that's all they've gotten. Every other match that we've had, the opponent did not miss their land drop. The opponents missed like 4 land drops. I have no creature in my graveyard, because they just so coincidentally had just the right creature to exile the 1 creature from my graveyard that I had. So I need 1 untapped land. And what do you want to bet my deck's gonna not give it to me? If they're smart, they'd keep the skeleton there. But if they have another Seam Rip, or maybe Sheltered by Ghost, maybe they want to show off. Yeah, we can do that. How many lands did we get rid of that they were never going to draw? Okay, what do we got? We have Herald of Eternal Dawn. That's a fun card. We can also sacrifice this and go look for any card we want. So, Paranation's a good card. So if they kill our card, we can bring it back. Do I have... What else do I have? I think we just go get another land, and that'll allow us to cast Absolute Virtue. And now we will finally consent to attack them. Because I only got 19 cards left. And while they're waiting, we can look and see 2, 2, and 1. Does this deck have anything that costs 3? It's really designed to kill you by turn 4 or 5. Only 2 sheltered by ghosts are gone. Yeah, everything's 1 and 2. Life is good. We can't lose, and we've got protection. Aww. That's okay. We were playing with our food. When you build a deck like this, it's kind of irresistible. We'll go show it to you one more time. Protected wins, using one of the oldest tricks of all time, the alternate win card. Oh, that's my first copy of Teacher's Pest? Sweet. I need more Strixhaven cards. Progenitus didn't make too much of an appearance just yet, so if you did want to change up anything in this, if you felt you needed a couple of, say, smaller, less costly interaction cards, or if you wanted to have a couple of other creatures like ramp creatures, or you wanted to have a ramp spell, or you wanted to go full in, have 4 copies of Case of the Shadow Pact and 4 copies of Leyline of the Guild Pact to try and get more consistency and getting more of your lands out. The Progenitus those are my 2 fun cards. So, you know, you could always do that. But yeah, Absolute Virtue. Get protection from each of your opponents. We did that a couple times. Get Herald of Eternal Dawn out so you're not allowed to lose the game. And no matter what they do, just bring one of those back with Hexproof and Indestructible. And you saw there's always a couple of ways that they can still get around that with board wipes or targeted exile and stuff like that. There's a couple of ways that they can still mess you up. But overall, pretty fun deck for me. I enjoy playing it. And when it gets to a point where you just really feel like you're in control, when certain protections go up after you're able to get to some of these more expensive cards, and then you're just kind of falling into this Zen mode where you don't even bother to attack anymore. You just sort of draw your cards and see how many of those cards that the opponent will let you play before they scoop. But what can I say? I find that fun. maybe that's weird for me. Let me know if you like this type of deck. This is the end of Evergreen month, so we're going to stop with the Evergreen type of things, I think, and we'll move on to a different subject for the new month. And with that, as we always ask you to like and subscribe, and we'll have something new for you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.